Welcome, everybody. This is Fantasy Football G. I'm your host, Kat, and today we're going to take a look at our best mids as we count down to the start of the FPL season. As well as that, we are going to also look at my team reveal as to who are the locked-in mids for my game week 1. So, without further ado, let's get into it. All right. Let's ride. First funds up. Firstly, guys, please hit that like button if you're liking the content. Also subscribe. I have started a series counting down to the start of the season. I've done best goalkeeper rotation, and I've also done my defensive reveal as well, and who the best top 10 best defenders for the start of the season. So we are doing best mids today. Today, what I've done is, not top 10 or anything like that. I've actually just taken who I think are the best midfield picks to start the season with. And we're just going to go through each one and why I think they're the best. And then we'll take a look at my team at the end of the show to see who I've decided to go with. Morgan Rogers, right? This guy had a flying start to his preseason. Honestly, a great pick, as well as also had a very good end to the season last season. Really went under the radar. I mean, of course, people like Vardio were doing really well as well. But he's someone that I have been keeping an eye on in preseason. He has been performing well. Goals did dry up in the last few games, but preseason is really an indicator of what can happen, not necessarily what will happen. And I think they've got really great fixtures. If you can see below me over here, West Ham, Arsenal first, and then they've got Leicester and Everton at home with Wolves. I think they've got a really great run. So if you're looking for a cheap way in there, only 5.0, I think he's definitely a great enabler in that midfield, the cheapest midfield player I see. That's really running in that front three with Watkins, Bailey, and Watkins and Bailey. So in a strong Aston Villa team, I think it's a no-brainer, guys. If you're really looking for a cheap enabler, I would definitely go for him. My fear is missing out on him, in all honesty, and we need to all get over that FOMO of missing out on players. And I say that in the sense of I feel like by the time I jump on him in any point in time, his price would have gone up. So yeah, we'll see. I have to hope not. So let's take a look at the next player. I think is good. We're going to go up in prices here, basically. And Emile Rowe, now a player of Fulham. Guys, this guy's played 2 preseasons and he scored 2 goals. I don't know what else I got to say. The team is really activated when he's playing. So, I feel like he's a gem. Excuse me. Sorry. I think he's a gem. I really do. And I think it's a no-brainer at 5.5. There is that bit of a conundrum as to whether you go for him or Andre Pereira. But there are rumors that Andre Pereira is actually just leaving the club. So I think if that is the case, then it really does solidify him. And maybe even around some set pieces as well. So he seems to be like a talismanic player for what I think is a fairly strong Fulham side. They've made some signings themselves. So I think he's definitely going to be, if you want, part of that attack, or maybe a main side of that attack. Emile Rowe is a player to go for. 5.5. Also another cheap enabler. I think if you trying to choose between him and Pereira, I would definitely go for him, just based on that information that I know of. So yeah, that's Emile Rowe, guys. Next up, we have Dominic Solanke. Love that name. Hope I'm saying it right. But yeah, man, I mean, you can see this guy. He has been playing in many roles really in this preseason, as Arne Slot's been trying to find himself. Mainly in that 8 role. He's also played in that 10 role, but you can tell that based on those 2 roles, he has an advanced role that he'll be playing really more behind the strikers and making those runs as well. So he's got one hell of a shot on him. I think he's going to be getting into a lot of dangerous areas where he's got opportunities and making late runs into the box. I think he is a really great 6.5 midfielder option. So I would be going for Dominic Solanke. I'm looking for a cheap way into that Liverpool midfield, as well as the fact that, like, I feel out of all the Liverpool midfield options besides Salah, I feel like he's a locked, short-in locked person. Also for the long term, I feel like there's a lot of uncertainty around a lot of players within that midfield. So he's definitely a player if you do want a piece of that action to go for. And has the potential to also be on in play set pieces. I say on field set pieces if Trent doesn't step up to the plate, because we all know that he has a good foot. That's Dominic Solanke at 6.5. This bracket's got a lot of players, so let's get into who they are as well. Morgan GibbsWhite, really differential, lowly picked own player. So I think he's, for me, a talisman, bro, for the team. And it's sort of also like ESR, like these guys who are in those teams, Fulham, Palace, Brentford, Forest, I think it's no-brainers going for their talisman, and especially when they have like high impact, both in game and also being on set pieces. And so, as you can see on the corner flags there, that he does take some of the corners as well. So we're not sure if he has the penalties or if Wood would have the penalties. I think it's sort of confirmed now that Wood would be starting for that striking lineup. And we saw at the end of the season, last season, how that partnership really did well. So got great fixtures, start with Bournemouth and then Southampton. And then they've got Wolves at home as well. Only really one bad fixture in the first 5 game weeks. So I think, whether it's in the midfield or the defense or the goalkeeping section, I think Nottingham Forest is definitely a team to go with. And I think if you're going to go with the midfielder from there, definitely Morgan GibbsWhite is the guy to go for. That's my choice there with Morgan GibbsWhite. Right. This next man, Christopher Nkunu. First fixture, I think we have to overlook it. The guy's honestly a gem in the set. The fact that he's coming at 6.5. Last season, I think he came in at 7, and he was a striker. I think we're all in the best position right now. Guy has had a full preseason with a new coach. He's been playing very well. He's been scoring a couple of goals. He even took a penalty in the absence of Cole Palmer. I believe Cole Palmer will definitely play the starting game because it's against Man City. But besides that, I feel like Christopher Nkunu has been getting himself into really great positions in the box and goal scoring, and really just being a high impact player and being part of the creation as well as the finishing of goals. So I think if you want a really cheap way into that Chelsea attack, then Nkunu is the one to go for at 6.5 as well. And he's one of my top 6.5 picks. Like I said, this 6.5 price bracket honestly has a lot of people to consider, but I just feel like to start the season with, and I say that in the sense of looking at the first 5 game weeks, I think Christopher Nkunu is definitely a great pick. Great five fixtures if you're looking at it in totality. There, Wolves away, Crystal Palace home, Bournemouth, and West Ham. So if you don't have the money for Cole Palmer, he's definitely a great option. I would consider it. How you guys? Plus, there also might be a huge price rise if people start to see that, hey, this guy's the one, and everybody starts to jump onto him. So, just watch out for that. Quite frankly, keep an eye on him. All right, Brendan Johnson. Like, Cat, what? Brendan Johnson? Hey guys. This guy's playing on the right-hand side of a very attacking football team. And I think that he is honestly another gem tapping into that Spurs attack because he's been on the right-hand side throughout the entire preseason starting there. Like no one else has been starting on that right-hand side. And I think Ange Postecoglou has made his decision as to who's going to be on that right-hand side. Kulusevski has been considered more in the false 9-10 role. So I don't see him at all really challenging for Johnson's side. And quite frankly, that's me saying that I feel like he's a short and nailed for the start of the season and really much the season. For me, having seen that just indicates to me that like this guy is going to be, starting his games. And plus, we all know how Brendan Johnson, how good he is. His performances that he's put in his previous club. So I don't think it's a hard decision. It's 6.5. Great 2 fixtures to start off with. Got Leicester and we got Everton. And then they've got Newcastle and Arsenal and Brentford on the fifth game. So, out of the 5 fixtures, they do have 3 great fixtures. I think you can get away with playing him if you really have to against Newcastle. But, he's an attacking player. I'd be willing to go with him at that Newcastle game and the Arsenal game, I think. The Arsenal game, guys, the Gunners got no chance. Yeah, but that's my decision when it comes to Brendan Johnson. I think if you're looking for a way into that Spurs attack and a cheap way, nailed as well, Brendan Johnson's the one. Awesome. All right, the people's pick. Eberechi Eze. Yeah, I don't think there's much to say about this guy, guys. I think we have to just keep an eye out on whether or not he will be moving. Because if he does, I think it really changes the game. It changes as to whether or not, is he going to start? Is he going to be a main player in that team? Right now, he's, the main player with Olise gone. He surely has to be on penalties. Hasn't been in preseason much because he came back from the Euros. But I mean, he's definitely going to start that first game 100%. So I think first game is against Brentford. I think it's a no-brainer considering that he is the talisman in that team. Yeah. 7 million. I don't see any other better option. I can't even mention stuff. People like honorable mentions don't even want to mention them. So I think it's a no-brainer. Eberechi is one of the highly owned midfielders as well. So yeah, guys, if you're looking for a good pick to stay with the crowd, Eze is the one. Right, next one. Diogo Jota. Another guy I believe is nailed in for the first few fixtures of Liverpool's season. I say that because, Darwin Núñez is definitely a factor to consider. We're not really sure how he is going to be played, whether it's down the center, whether it's on the left. I think Gakpo will be on the left with a Luis Diaz. So when it comes down to the center, Diogo Jota seems to be nailed. I believe is nailed in the first few fixtures because he's had more of a preseason on his slot. He's performed really well, scored goals, also assisted as well. So, and we all know Jota, his points per game, you can see there's 6.5. Really struggles when it comes to staying fit. But when he is fit, he is delivering with points. So definitely a very attacking number 9, gets himself in good areas and places to score. All-rounder, both in terms of scoring and assisting as well. So he's definitely a no-brainer at 7.5 for you if you're looking for tapping into that Liverpool attack at 7.5. If you're asking the question between him and Luis Diaz, I do feel like the goals are really going to come from Liverpool's wings. That's where I think the goals are really going to come from, just looking at the way they play. So, having said that, I'm not sure what's going to happen when Luis Diaz when Gakpo starts to come into the picture with Luis Diaz. In the last preseason game, Luis Diaz killed it, man. I think scored 2 goals. So, yeah. And you could see when Gakpo came in the second game, he just understood what Arne Slot wanted and needed. And he was playing really well. So it's just a bit of uncertainty there. And I just feel like if I want a bit of consistency in the first few games, which they've got really great fixtures in, I think I'll go with Diogo Jota that's who I'd pick, definitely. Right. Next one is Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon, another one to keep an eye on when it comes to transfer market. Hasn't featured much in the preseason, of course, because of the Euros, but I think he's definitely going to start, guys, regardless, because, it's Southampton at home, easy. He's pretty much didn't play in the Euros. So he's ready, he's fit to go. He's had his break. He's been training as well. You could take these Euros training as preseason as well. So great few fixtures in the beginning as well. You can definitely play him against Tottenham at home. He's playing Southampton first, Bournemouth away, and then Tottenham at home, and then Wolves away, and then the Fulham team as well. You can see there on his spider diagram, he's very much an all-rounder in everything. So if you're looking to tap into that Newcastle attack, then Anthony Gordon is without a doubt the best option to go with. Other players like Murphy has been playing well in the preseason, as well as Barnes. So there are other cheaper options, but I think Anthony Gordon is always nailed. He's like Saka, really, in the sense of if he's fit, Eddie Howe's going to be playing him. So don't worry about that. I think you can go for him and not have any worries, in all honesty. But keep an eye on whether or not he is going to be making a move. He has been linked to clubs like Liverpool, which I think honestly don't need him. But yeah, we'll see. Right. Next one, another guy who's been a really good FPL performer in past seasons, just hasn't had really good seasons recently. Bruno Fernandez, but the talisman of a Man United team, which is changing themselves. In all honesty, they've boosted their defense so massively. I feel like the only place they really need to make another signing, a big signing, is in that midfield to help out Menu. But I think Casemiro and Menu, I think they should be able to bring the ball up themselves, as well as that defense as well. So I think this could help release Bruno more around that 10 role where he is needed up on the pitch. And we saw that, he's the man into taking shots where need be. He's got a great foot, definitely on set pieces. I also believe that he is going to be on the penalties as well. So I think it's a no-brainer. There's the question as to who do you go with, Odegaard or Bruno Fernandez? I am an Arsenal man. That's my man, captain. That's my captain. Aye. No, captain. But Bruno is the man when it comes to an FPL pick. Everything really goes through him. Everything really goes through him. So always go for the talisman of the team. And when it comes to those two, Bruno's the guy for that as well. So yeah, that's my pick there. Going on to the next one, who used to be his arch nemesis, KDB. What? KDB, cat? Yeah, guys, look, it's confirmed Alvarez is going to be leaving the Man City camp squad. So, there's that spot that's open for the first few games. And Kevin De Bruyne did make it in the last few minutes for that game in the Community Shield. He's ready to go. He's been around for a while. He did join preseason late, of course, for having his break from the Euros, but Phil Foden's not in the picture. He's not in the picture, and neither is Alvarez. And this is KDB we're talking about. I feel like we're overlooking him, because of his age. But the moment KDB starts doing what KDB does, dog, and Haaland is on the end of that, just eating off of that plate that he's dishing up, we're all going to be flocking to him. At 9.5, guys, it's honestly, first few games, got Chelsea. And this guy, for me, is fixture-proof. He's fixture-proof, especially with a beautiful striker at the end of his balls. He's fixture-proof. So I feel like that Chelsea game is nothing. We're hoping that he makes that Ipswich game. But regardless, I think KDB will definitely play those first two games enough to make good impact, have good points. And I think Phil Foden will most likely come in onto that West Ham game, which is the third game week. he'll definitely make it onto that second game as well for Foden. But I just feel like, me, in my opinion, I don't think he's going to be playing KDB's role. I think they'll be both on the pitch, and that is my opinion. I really think they'll be both on the pitch. I think they're two very good players, played very differently, and I think they're both going to be on the pitch. Yeah, that's just my opinion. So KDB for me is my surprise best mids pick to start with. I feel like everyone's sleeping on him. So yeah. Another one, the last one, Bukayo Saka. And I say the last one because, guys, Salah's a no-brainer. Go for Salah. Our whole entire teams are dependent on whether you go Salah or Haaland. So I don't need to cover Haaland. But Saka's pick is more of, who do you go with, a Son or a Saka? Now, I think you go with the more younger and vibrant player. And yes, I know you guys are going to say, Kat, you're also biased. You know, Arsenal, you're definitely not going to go for a Spurs player. No, guys, let's just be honest. Son is, my honest opinion, if I was a coach, I'd be playing Son as number 9. And then I'll just be putting legs around him, behind him, and around him on the wings. And just, let him, like, hey, get into spaces where, you can finish and stuff like that. I honestly wouldn't keep playing him on that left to try and keep running and stuff like that. He's got enough pace on him, but not the type of pace we used to have to really just beat defenses and run the whole entire football pitch and start scoring. Like, no, not anymore, not in my opinion. And I think Saka is in the best team. I'm going to say that, the best team in the league. He's in the best team in the league. And he's got really great scoring ability on penalties, takes set pieces as well. It's a no-brainer. He's been scoring over 200 points regularly every season. So, I think Saka's a no-brainer when it comes to who to pick there, as well as, if you're thinking about Cole Palmer, I still think Saka's a better pick. Yes, the fixtures for Cole Palmer look better, but the thing is, we don't really know, how he's going to be performing, Cole Palmer, in that Chelsea team. So why spend all that money on somebody you're not even sure how he's going to perform within that Enzo Maresca system? It just doesn't make sense for me. Go for a player who's a much safer pick, a much more nailed pick in the team, and how how he's going to work in that system. With Pochettino, he had a lot more of a free role, and it seems like that role really suited him. We've had a very small sample size of Palmer playing for Enzo Maresca, and he's looked all right. He hasn't looked bad at all. But that's one game. You don't know what it's going to be like in other games, nor the tough games or the easy games. So I would give it a bit of time, give him those fixtures, see what it's like, and then I would decide to then hop on him. He is 0.5 more than Saka. If I'm going to go in the 10 millions, bro, guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to pick a proper nailed premium. I know that's going to deliver for me. So that's just me. That's my opinion. And so let's take a look at my team now. Team reveal. Let's go, Cat. Cool. Up first, for my nailed picks, I think it goes without saying, Eze. It's not the fact that I'm buying into what people say. I just think that, he's just a good pick. He's got fixtures are all right, but he's the talisman, guys. Everything is going to go through him. And he's a very, very good player there in that Crystal Palace team. Also beefed up themselves in attack. Could lose Gehi. I think they will lose Gehi. But nonetheless, going forward, I think they're going to be solid, and they're going to be good. So, yeah. Right. Next pick. Surprise, surprise. Morgan Gibbs-White. What? Morgan Gibbs-White? Guys, these are my locked-in midfielder picks. Locked in, not going anywhere. All right? The other 3, I'm still not sure of. Actually, I am very sure of, but I want to leave it for a later reveal. But Morgan Gibbs-White, for me, great fixtures, guys. Honestly, again, another talisman, playing that talismanic role for his team. So it's really a no-brainer as to, him making the team. I think people are sleeping on that pick, and I think they're afraid of it. But I feel like he's actually a pick which is going to surprise a lot of people in the beginning of the season, and I think it's because of those fixtures. I really believe he's going to do well with them as well. They've been playing very well in preseason as well, so I see them really doing well at home against Bournemouth and Southampton as well. So yeah, that's my my picks. That's my picks for the midfield. Yeah, but if you guys want to see who I've picked in my who my two locked in goalkeeper rotations are, then you have to check out this video right over here, and followed by that, you will actually see who are my locked in defense as well, and the top 10 defenders for that. Other than that, guys, you know what to do. Please like and also subscribe if you really are enjoying the content, and I will see you guys in those videos over there. Peace.